What is all of this? First of all, there's been a terrorist attack in Israel. Sorry to hear that. Shooting terror attack in Tel Aviv. Wounds 3. Any dead that we know of?
Not at this stage, no. No, but this is just part of a bad wave of terror that's been hitting us over the last few months.
Okay, tell me. I'm going to ask quick questions, quick answers. Got a lot to cover. Tell me about the article over at Breitbart. Democrats urge Biden to use all diplomatic tools available against Israel's judicial reform. If we go over to the Jerusalem Post, Israeli protests nationwide in second day of disruption against judicial reform. What is this judicial reform all about? Who's pushing it?
Well, as we pretty much all know, in November the 1st, we have a new government. Benjamin Netanyahu brings in a very right wing conservative government. And one of the key things that they're doing is they're bringing about judicial reforms, which basically means this. Here in Israel, the High Court of Justice, who sits above our government, they basically have all the power to make all legislative decisions. Any laws that need to be changed, revamped, it's all in the power of the High Court of Justice. Well, our new government, they want to change that. They want to leave some of that power with the High Court of Justice, but they also want to give the 120 members of our government also some power to make legislative reforms. So basically, they're trying to take away some of the power from the High Court of Justice and give it to the 120 members of the government. Now, we're a democracy. Our government that's voted are 64 seats. The opposition, who are the Democrats, you could say, the equivalent of the Democrats, the left wing, they're only about 40 seats. So the people that are demonstrating, the people that are causing massive problems with not only peaceful demonstrations, but some of these demonstrations have actually turned violent. What they are doing this in such an undemocratic way that it's causing, probably in the history of the modern state of Israel, the most divisive time in our history. So our government, whether you like it or not, our government has been voted, and that's what a democracy is. It's power to the people. Our government has been voted in, and they have decided that they want to revamp, they want to reform the judicial system. They have every right to do it. They haven't made any decisions. Of course, this is what the left, and it's not, by the way, it's not just the left who are protesting. It's even some people on the right, believe it or not. But basically, the new revamp, the new reformations that they want to bring out, they want to be able to make some moral and social changes in our legal system. And some people on the left, especially, they see what's happening. They're going to change some of the LGBT and some of the educational teaching that goes on through the educational system against this whole gay, LGBT, same-sex marriage.
So, a more
Because
conservative government of Benjamin Netanyahu, which has a very strong religious small coalition that put him in power, is basically saying we're going to stop this cultural Marxist LGBTQ agenda. We don't want all that funded. Yes?
that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. That's
Okay,
just
let's.
one issue
All right.
among many.
All right, let's move to the next one. Rehearsals for attacking Iran. I'm also reading that a security agency, looks like they're going to transfer, according to the Jerusalem Post, some of the security of Benjamin Netanyahu and his family to an intelligence agency. They claimed in the report Mrs. Netanyahu got caught up in some protest and armed police had to help her get out of there. Okay, that's a nice cover story. I ain't buying it. What I'm reading here, if I'm reading between the lines, what I'm reading here is they're flipping over to better security because they're going to need it because of what they're doing with Iran and practicing for attacks on Iran.
Actually, the whole issue with Sarah Netanyahu, the Netanyahu family, they came back from a holiday from overseas, from France, and they didn't get attacked directly.
Right.
They got caught up in this day of marching,
Right.
and it's a genuine concern. They're beefing up security on the Netanyahu family. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think there's cause for it.
Does it have
But
anything
that's
to
not
do with getting ready for an attack on Iran?
so. I don't necessarily think that so much. I think that's a completely different issue. The if you want to talk about the situation with Iran, we can go on to that.
Yes.
But okay, so
Uh,
I do believe.
I was going to
Go
say,
ahead.
I think they're beefing up their security because I've worked around enough and been around enough security guys that guard VIPs and enough retired Secret Service. My gut tells me they're beefing up security, but we can disagree on that. I think they're getting ready for something big.
Listen, that could be the reason they're beefing up security. But here's the thing: whether it's Netanyahu, whether it's Benny Gantz, whether it's Yair Lapid, whoever's sitting in the Israeli prime ministerial position, he's going to have to make a big decision, and very, very soon. So whether it is or not, that issue is the big issue and certainly in the under news right now. We have, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna have to do it really soon.
Now,
Now,
why are they
we
saying you're going to have to do it real soon? Because I
okay.
was because of uranium. Now, what was it? I was just reading. Was it Russia or was it was giving more uranium to Iran?
Well, listen, that's word out there through the news that it's Russia, but whether it comes from Russia or not, the news reports is about 5 6 days ago that Iran are 12 days away from being able to make nuclear weapons. They've already got such a high level of nuclear enrichment, uranium enrichment. They've already you only need about 3 to 5% to make nuclear power. But to get to weapons level, they are right on the edge. So that was about 5 or 6 days ago. Now we're talking a week countdown if this is all accurate. So this is one of the main reasons why there's been a lot more talk about Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, last week, Brannon, two top American generals were here talking with Netanyahu and Kochavi, our top defense minister and top military generals. Now, what were they were talking about? They were definitely talking about the Iranian situation. Here's the thing, Brandon, this is really important. We have not had any support from Biden directly that we know of. He is not coming out saying we will support Israel. But 2 weeks ago, the president of the IAEA, what is the IAEA? They are the international nuclear inspectors. They are the people that go in and inspect to see if everything is kosher, if everything is fine. Do you know what the president came out and said?
What? Quick.
He said that it is illegal for Israel to attack Iran and any nuclear site. Now,
Wow.
why is he saying this, Brennan? And why are the American generals here? I believe it's because they know that this is not just an Iranian Israel issue. I believe it's because they know that Russia are a part of this whole deal. The
Absolutely, they
whole
are.
the
Reports.
whole situation. If Israel attacks Iran, that it's not just going to be Iran. There is word out on the street that in Syria today, which is right on our border, there are more Russian soldiers than there are Syrian
Wow.
soldiers. This is in Syria.
It sounds like to me the whole thing is about to break loose all over the country. North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, Syria, Ukraine. It's all about to break loose at one time. We'll get into it more, but it seems to me this be a perfect time for some global leader to step forward who could offer a solution to all of it, right?
Yeah, well, that's where it's heading. And I know you have to go, but let me just finish by saying this, Brannon. Just 2 days ago, we celebrated the Feast of Purim, the Feast of Esther, the story where wicked Haman from Persia, from Iran, he was setting about to destroy the whole of the Jewish people. And the unseen God, who's not mentioned in the book of Esther, he was working behind the scenes to fight for Israel. And that's what we're praying, that God, and we know lots of people are praying for our situation. Please pray for us. It's very tense here.
Absolutely. Well, pray for us. It's tense here as well with the threats from China as well. Give me your website again real quick.
Light to the Nations Ministry.com.